The Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, O Lord. When he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once. Little children, I am with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. So last week I lied. Well, sort of. It is true that Revelation is a message of hope, incredible hope, in fact. And it is also true that maybe, just maybe, Revelation is a little scary. There are some undeniably terrifying images buried in the middle chapters of this book, in between the fluffy little lamb and its cute little scroll, and the beginning of this glorious image of the New Jerusalem. Dragons and beasts, war and plagues, blood and fire. Fortunately, we don't get any of that in the Revised Common Lectionary during Eastertide Year C, or ever. But maybe we should. Now, of course, as vivid and terrifying as these images might be, it is important to remember that they are symbolic. Revelation is not a blueprint for the end of the world, nor is it meant to be taken literally. I'm going to say that again. Revelation is not a blueprint for the end of the world, nor is it meant to be taken literally. But in its vivid, attention-grabbing imagery, it is meant to be taken seriously. I would suggest that we actually need the scenes of cosmic battle in those middle chapters to understand what is at stake, to confront head-on the evils of empire, and to expose it for what it is, and to bring us at last to the triumphant conclusion of the victory of the Lamb and the journey into the New Jerusalem. As one pastor and theologian observes, Revelation earns its happy ending by dwelling at length on the evil that is inflicted upon the earth. It doesn't duck or deny evil, though it also isn't interested in giving evil more attention than it already claims. This book is more sophisticated than people assume. It knows that you end up worshiping what you stare at. So to stare at too much evil lures you into evil's way of thinking and acting. And yet, pretending like it's not there makes you easy prey. A theologian of the cross calls a thing what it is, as Luther famously put it. And if that's the case, John of Patmos, the writer of these admittedly terrifying words in Revelation, must be a theologian of the cross, confronting evil head-on and naming it for what it is. A theologian of the cross also places God squarely in the midst of suffering on the cross, hence its name, in solidarity with the oppressed, alongside those who cry out under unjust systems. See, the home of God is among mortals, the Apocalypse writer declares at last. God will dwell with them. They will be his peoples, and God herself will be with them and be their God. God will wipe every tear from their eyes. There is repetition here, far more emphatic and intentional in the Greek, as is so often the case. God is with us. God will dwell with us. God will be with us. And speaking of Greek, this home or dwelling is skene. This is the tent of meeting that contained God's very presence in the wilderness after the exodus from Egypt. As if to reinforce for Revelation's first century hearers, this is where God is, as surely as God was with your ancestors. As one translator puts it, the tent of God is among mortals. God will tent with them. Or, as another biblical scholar suggests, underscoring more certainly God's place with the oppressed and marginalized peoples of our world, she says, God will camp among us and with the people as God did after the escape from oppression in Egypt. In the modern world, she goes on, where millions of people are forced to live in camp settings because of being displaced from houses due to war, natural disaster, lack of affordable housing, among other reasons, God's camping with God's people is a powerful image. Perhaps even more powerful still is Revelation's profound reminder that we have a God who weeps and is with those who weep, who sits alongside us for every ugly cry, and who wipes away every last tear. Lord knows there was plenty of cause for weeping among John's original audience in the wake of the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, living under the oppressive regime of Rome. Lord knows there is plenty of cause for weeping here and now as our planet and its people experience unrelenting disasters, war, and violence, as we experience our own anxious fears closer to home, which we know all too well. It is true that Revelation and the world in which it was written is scary. Revelation doesn't deny that or try to move on too quickly from the discomforts, but it meets us in the tears. It is also true that Revelation doesn't leave us there, but offers us a message of incredible hope. Our Lamb has conquered. God is with us. Our God, the Word made flesh, camps with us. Our God, who himself weeps at the tomb of his friend Lazarus, wipes away every tear from our eyes. That's the remarkable thing about Revelation. This is not future prophecy, but much more profound than that. This is reinforcement of what already is true. Our risen Jesus has destroyed the power of death and daily renews us in the waters of baptism, the water of life. Our Lamb has conquered and indeed is making all things new.